All right, welcome back to another episode of the 24th Floor. We are taping this actually well in advance, so that is why you don't see my co-host Ruben Diaz. When we're taping this segment, it's on a Friday and Ruben is off. But we're taping this a day after a bunch of really good high school basketball games. We had Bartlett beat Whitehaven for the region championship. Both teams have already punched their ticket to state, but Bartlett proved that they are, without a shadow of a doubt, the best team in Memphis. And joining with me is a guy who, when I started covering high school sports, I really leaned on this guy's post. And he is joining us on the program, Mr. Leon King Taylor. He covers the Memphis Tigers. He covers high schools. Welcome to the program, my guy.
How you doing, bro? Appreciate you.
So I gotta ask, coming out of that Bartlett victory over Whitehaven, what was kind of like your expectations that you had for that game? Because that game was standing room only. It was a packed house, and that seemed to, I say Bartlett is a team that they're like a circus and they travel well. So no matter whether they are in Memphis, out of Memphis, whether they go to another state, they always go out and perform. And you had probably their biggest challenge to this point in Whitehaven, a team that is a top 10 ranked team in the state of Tennessee, a bunch of athletes, a team that's taking care of business. Tell me kind of what your expectations were into that game and to see how Bartlett kind of controlled business in that game.
Oh, it was a big test for Bartlett because Whitehaven is a rival game.
Yeah.
And it seems like every year, those two, when they face each other, it sometimes goes the other way. It's always Whitehaven getting the victory. But this time around, this year, it's been big Bartlett. Bartlett's ranked in the country, top 10 in America. They have 3-4 guys who are high-level Division I prospects.
And so now, obviously, it moves on to state, and, you know, like we always have to tell people, the teams that made it to the region championship go to state. So I know, like, most of this playoffs, we talk about win or go home. Mm-hmm. But when you make it to the region, you do punch your ticket to state. So Whitehaven, even though they did not get that victory over Bartlett, they still do have games ahead of them. What do you like about either team's chances going in the state tournament? Now, Bartlett obviously starts at home, and by the time we air this episode, we'll have known what happens. But what do you kind of feel about both teams?
Both teams are great. Both of them have size and depth. And I just feel like Bartlett, this is their year. You know, this is a team that's been battle-tested all year. They play top 25 programs across the country. And I just feel like this year with the number one player in the city of Memphis is Dylan Jones.
Yeah.
And he's a top 50 prospect who's ready to claim himself as a state champion. And Whitehaven High School, on the other side, is really good as well. They're led by a senior point guard in Mr.
Jamichael Mitchell. Yeah.
Jamichael Mitchell. I mean, this guy is 6 feet, and he just plays like
Very
he's 6'4".
Yeah.
Yes. And then they have a big man, Mr. Idris.
Yeah.
Idris is like,
yeah.
He's 6'8", very dominant. Coach Penny Hardaway's seen him play, so
yeah.
Very good teams.
Now we're gonna touch on the Memphis Tigers a little bit later, because Coach Penny, he's been a guy who's been a frequent person at these high school games. I've seen him several times. We'll touch on the Tigers a little bit later, but now let's kind of get into the other guys, because Bartlett got the victory over Whitehaven. East also got the victory over Mace to punch their ticket. Middle College got a victory. And I know we're touching on all the public schools, but I would be remiss if I don't mention the private schools. Now, once again, by the time this episode airs, we will have known what happens with Briarcrest. But look at the season they've been having.
Absolutely.
Kind of tell me, like, your thoughts on them, like Fred Smith, Josh Huggins. Those guys, like I said, when I started covering high school basketball, the two programs that stood out to me that was told to me was Briarcrest and Bartlett. And Bartlett, to this point, have proven that they are who they say they are. But Briarcrest is also, in a ways, it's a hidden gem because they are a private school. So kind of tell me your thoughts on them.
Well, Briarcrest over the years has always been a great program. Coach Harrington does a great job with his teams. And he has one of the best players in the city of Memphis in Fred Smith Jr., who's a potential Memphis Tiger. And then you have Mr. Josh Huggins, who's a 6'6", junior.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this young man is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll take that back. I'm sorry, he's a sophomore.
Yeah.
And then you also have Parker Pounds, who's a senior.
He can shoot that thing.
Yes, sir.
I think it's 44%. He's shooting from three.
He's above 40%.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's headed to Air Force.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that.
You got a good point guard in Mr. Greg Spates.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of under the radar, but he's the floor general that gets those guys going.
Very quick with it.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I believe they will win the state championship.
Now, we had Terry Davis on a few weeks ago, and he was kind of breaking news. Is it confirmed that Fred is going to Memphis? Do you have any insight on that?
Oh, without kind of letting the cat out the bag a little earlier.
Is it a done deal?
It's not a done deal, but might as well say you can put it in ink.
Okay. Now, like I said, we'll touch on it when we get to our Tigers basketball, but I guess I can say it now. Do you think a guy like Fred Smith can be something that can kind of like change a program like Memphis? Because I know on this show we've talked about we think Penny needs to go back to his roots of recruiting local. And like I said, maybe that's why we see him more at these high school games, because it's a lot of good talent here in Memphis. Is Fred Smith a type of guy that you kind of use as a building block?
I believe so. I just want fans to be patient with him in his first year, because college basketball is not an easy task. And when you're talking about a freshman coming in, you have to be patient with these guys, because you also have a young man by the name of Cello Jackson, who's a Memphis native as well, who will be with this program. But Fred Smith is 6'7", 6'8". He's athletic, has a great IQ for the game, and I think Penny Hardaway and Fred Smith will win some big games in the near future.
Now, Leon, you've been doing this for quite some time. I think I kind of underplayed how long you've been doing this. Tell the people how long you have been kind of covering high school hoops and just the Tigers, period, just the wealth of knowledge that you have.
I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I've been working with Go Tigers 247 for like 5 years. But it all started covering high school basketball, and it just has grown over the years into where I just cover not only high school basketball, but also high school football.
Now, me being an Atlanta native, you know, I'm kind of used to a basketball scene. And to see what I've seen these past couple of weeks has just been incredible. It's been humbling to see where it's like long lines to get into the game, standing room only, packed house, whether it's been Arlington High, Southwind. I think, you know, it's not talked about enough how good the talent is here in Memphis. What do you think that kind of stems from, where it being so much talent here in Memphis? I think when we think about basketball, you think about the Chicagos, you think about the Atlantas, you'll think about out in California, you'll think about New York. But it's so much good talent here in Memphis. What do you kind of think that kind of speaks to, especially this grit and grind mentality in the city?
Man, this is a sports city. And when we talk about sports, it's just all year round. When it could be football, basketball, even baseball right now is become more of a hot topic, because we have guys who've been drafted out of high school to get into the majors. So, I mean, this city, I feel like over the years, the talent level hasn't been what fans are used to, but they're starting to see a trend where these guys are getting better. Because if they wasn't better, you wouldn't have these other colleges coming to come get these guys.
Do you think a team like Bartlett, which gets on the radar of ESPN and being a top 10 national team, and obviously Bartlett going and beating some of the best teams in other states, do you think that kind of raises the profile of Memphis hoops just long term?
Absolutely, absolutely, because, I mean, like we mentioned, Bartlett is top 10 in the country, and they've solidified themselves by beating national programs, and it's just going to become a trend going forward for the future, and then hopefully open up doors for other programs.
And we talked about it with Coach Real on this program, but a lot of Bartlett's best players aren't even seniors. Like, I mean, you say Dylan Jones, you know, you have him, and then you have Braylon Williams. That kid's only a sophomore.
Absolutely.
And I call him Mr. Big Shot, because it seems like every time they need one, he's always coming through. I think DJ Okoth, he's not a senior as well.
He's top 10 in the country.
Exactly. So you talk about these group of players, regardless of what happens in this run, they're bringing that whole team back. And those guys already having the offers that they have from P4 programs, you think that it's only going to just get higher from here. What do you think that kind of like speaks of when, for a guy like Coach Real, knowing that he has that foundation that he can bring back? Because he said on this program the last time we taped the episode that, you know, last year he was like, kind of had a Deion Sanders mentality of like, if you're going to get us, that's the year to get us. And now he's shown this year, like, yeah, now you can't get us because we too good. So no matter what happens again, we're probably kind of looking at almost like a mini dynasty with this Bartlett team.
Absolutely. I really consider his high school program almost like a mini college.
Yeah.
Because if you ever go to his practice, the way how the structure is, the environment, it's serious. You know, it's books, then sports. And they also, they work hard in the weight room. So everything is serious like a college. I mean, he's, you know, basically all his rules are basically, you know, just set for greatness.
Yeah. And so obviously, you know, we've been talking a lot about Region 4A because, you know, you have Whitehaven, you have Bartlett, you have Arlington, you have Southwind, you have Houston, so many good teams. And so that's where most of my eyes have been on. But like we mentioned earlier, you have the Booker T. Washingtons, you have the East, you have the Mace, you have the Middle College. Those teams are also going in the state. So kind of help bring me up to speed because I'll be honest, I haven't got my eyes on East yet. And so kind of help me out on like what type of team we're looking at with Memphis East in the state tournament.
Memphis East, man, I love the story of their program because the assistant coach, Elgin Lee, he stepped up when the head coach stepped down, and they've just been on a run. And they have a sophomore point guard, Michael Townsend, who's one of the best in his class, and he's just been on a mission. And this team is just like the underdog mentality right now.
Talk about Mace. What do you kind of see out of Mace?
Coach Marcus Moody, you know, Memphis legend. He's always had a great program. And the thing about this program, they had one returning starter, and it's just been a balanced attack.
And what about Middle College? So Middle College is funny because that's a school that I pass by like every day on my way to work, and it seems so small. And so you wouldn't expect, I mean, I saw it from the girls too, a team that's that small ends up being so good that they can make this kind of state run. And then they also had a run in football where they were really good too. So I think Middle College is like one of the true hidden gems in Memphis. So kind of bring me up to speed on them because this is a team that has been on my radar for a minute, but I haven't got a chance to really put my eyes on them like that.
Man, Coach Josh Wheaton has done an amazing job in his first year. That man has came to this program, and these guys just play with so much energy and so much fight. And they're led by a junior by the name of Miles Helton. That guy's a high flyer, dunking machine. And that team, Middle College, they play at a fast, up-tempo speed, like almost like the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah. And so we also have Fayette and Kirby. Those two teams played for the region championship. Fayette came out with the win 45-44. Fayette is a team I haven't got a chance to put eyes on, but I see their coach is always tweeting about them, so he's definitely keeping us in the know. He's always telling us the stats. Have you got a chance to like look at Fayette?
Absolutely. They have a young man by the name of Jonathan Lowe.
Yeah. He's
really good, and Coach Cheers is a great coach. Every year his team is always in the hunt, and it's another big run this year.
And Kirby, I was able to kind of get a little bit of a look at them during the districts because I saw them when they played against Power Center and I saw them in their semifinal games with that. It's a team that really likes to run. They have a big man. I think he's like 6'7". I forgot his name. I'm thinking of it right now, but I like what I saw from Kirby. And I don't know as far as the competition they're going up against a state, but they're a team that really impresses me with the way how they kind of defend and they run. What do you see from Kirby when you watch them?
They're led by Kerry McLean, senior, who's one of the top leading scorers in the city.
Yeah.
Kerry McLean, he had a chance to probably transfer to many other programs, but he decided to stay, and now you see the results. He's helping guide a team that was pretty much one of the underdogs in the beginning of the year, and now they're on the state championship run.
Now, you bring up transfers, and I want to get on that topic because we talked about it on this program. Recently, the governor signed a law where now it's almost like you're bringing college into high school. Now guys can just openly transfer for no rhyme or reason. Before, it used to have to be a circumstance and everything. So now, obviously, we saw it in football. A bunch of kids are transferring. What do you think that kind of opens up for, especially here in Memphis, with it already being an open enrollment thing? What do you think that kind of opens up for guys to kind of like, they can have a good year at Kirby, and then now they can kind of like transfer up to maybe a Whitehaven or a Bartlett or go somewhere else. Do you think that we'll see a lot of movement in the basketball world for the Mid-South?
Absolutely. I feel like it's going to be like the college transfer portal. You're going to see a lot of people move around. But I just hope that when people make decisions, they make the right decision, not just for sports, but for education as well. Because when you talk about making these moves, it's not always a guarantee that you can go somewhere and become a star.
Yeah.
It has to make sense on both levels.
Yeah. So kind of getting as we wrap up our conversation on high school, if you had to look at the Mid-South teams remaining, and like I said, obviously we're taping this before the state tournament starts. And so by the time this airs, we will know. We just kind of want to have on the record, so you can't have a I told you so. My co-host Ruben Diaz likes to do a I told you so. Who do you think probably has the best chance, besides Bartlett, of probably winning it all? Because we did this in high school where we talked about who we had the best chance, and we predicted that Southwind and Covington would be there, and they made the deepest run on the football side. But now that we got into basketball, when you look at the Mid-South teams, who do you think has the best chance of hoisting that gold ball?
I'm going to go with the underdogs, Middle College.
Okay.
I think they're really playing with a great chemistry, and Coach Josh Whedon has just made these guys buy in his first year, and they just got a good chance.
Is there anything that's kind of been memorable about this season? You've seen so many of these high school seasons. For me, this being my first one, what is going to be something that kind of like stands out to you? Because we're basically now wrapping up hoops here in Memphis. Now the journey leaves the city, so we won't see any more long lines and packed houses. And I had to have a police escort to help me get in because it's just pandemonium at the door. You've seen that a lot, but what will kind of be memorable about this season to you?
I'm going to say the big wins for Bartlett High School, because when Coach Real holds up their gold trophy for the first time, you got to understand this man has had good teams over the years, but they never got over the hump. But this season, he's just had some good quality wins where it doesn't look like he won't be denied.
We will see. We will find out. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are still keeping Mr. Leon around. We are going to talk about what he covers a lot. Go Tigers. And, man, it is certainly a lot to talk about on the Memphis Tigers. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're back after this.
All right.